Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mings, and it's time to check out a noob game. This is something that people enjoy when I do occasionally. We take a look at a game played by two complete beginners, we analyze it, we try to kind of figure out what they're doing wrong, maybe what they could be doing better. This replay was submitted at mangsawbwreplays@gmail.com. Fun little story about that. This Gmail actually got flagged for suspicious activity, and I was told I couldn't enter it. So I actually had to contact Google. I had to give them my original mail, and I'm like, hey, I'm Mangs, the YouTuber, and I used this email for fans to submit me games. And they were like, oh, sorry. And then they opened it again. I really don't know why it got flagged. Maybe because it was getting a lot of attachments or something, and they thought maybe there was something suspicious going on. But I have it back now, which is good. So yeah, the two players that we're taking a look at today is Insane Cultists and Watomato. Watomato! They're both 800s, so this is pretty much as noobish of a game as you can get. And they're playing on Struggle Grinding, classic fog map. Love me some Struggle Grinding. It is one of my favorite maps in the Fog Ladder. It's been around for a while, and I'm very happy to see that it's still here. Classic 2-base map right here. You got an airport that's hidden behind some pipe seams, so it's gonna take a little while for those air units, like not like a long while, but they can't just fly straight into action. They gotta go around here. Fun fact: one time on Struggle Grinding, I built a missile, and I put the missile like right here, and I locked down my opponent's airport, and I shot down like 5 battlecopters. I don't think I have the replay. This was many years ago, but I wish I saved it because it was pretty hilarious. My opponent wasn't checking the replay, and just kept shooting down his battlecopters, and he was just keep building new ones. It was hilarious. But of course, this is not something you usually see on Struggle Grinding. It's a pretty small map. Like, it has kind of like 3 fronts. You got like the center front right here. You got the top and the south fronts right here. Top and north and the south fronts right here. Usually, most of the action in Struggle Grinding tends to happen around this area right here. Now, there is one thing about Struggle Grinding which a lot of new players, myself included, tend to get wrong, and that is overextending. Because the map is so small, it is very easy to dip into your opponent's reinforcement range. I would say in Struggle Grinding, the moment you start attacking this, like if you are a red player right here, the moment you go past your opponent's comm tower, you are officially overextending. Maybe even a little bit before that. Now, Struggle Grinding, once you get a little bit of momentum, it's very tempting to push towards your opponent's HQ, but you are then going to run straight into your opponent's reinforcements range, as well as their airport. You're going to have a very bad time. So it's very important to be very careful when you're dealing with this. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, CO matchups, yeah. So, when I saw that this was like a fresh noob game, I actually expected something a lot worse than this. Like, I thought we were going to get like Sonya versus Skull or something. Actually, no, Sonya would be a good pick since this is Fog. I don't know. Like, Grim versus... Grim versus... I don't know. Grim versus Grim? I don't know. But Jess versus Jake is actually kind of the meta for this kind of map. I would say Jess is probably the stronger CO in this particular matchup, since it's a 2-base small fog map. So tank spam is a lot more reliable. I mean, sure, there is an airport, and battlecopters are good, and Jake's battlecopters certainly are a lot better than Jess's battlecopters. But on Struggle Grinding, I would give the edge to Jess on this particular pick. In Fog, you don't tend to see a lot of artillery. It's kind of weird, you know. Like, when I was a noob, I always thought that artillery would be stronger in Fog because you could hide them in the forest, but that's not really true. Because in Fog, your artillery are a lot more likely to get picked off than they are to remain hidden. Like, sure, you put them in a forest, you get like 1 shot, and now your opponent knows they're there, and they can easily kill them next turn. Whereas in Standard, artillery are really godlike, because if you plan them perfectly, you can make sure they're never in range of your opponent. So, yeah, it's a bit weird, but for that reason, I'm not a huge fan of Jake on this map, but I'd say they're pretty evenly matched. The win rate is probably something around 50-50 for both of them, I think. But maybe like 52-48 in favor of Jess. Not a big one, but... Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I say we get started on this little noob game. Let's go. Alright, Insane Cultist in the red trunks over on the right side. Watomato! I love that name, Watomato. It's probably Watumato, honestly, because there's only 1 T. But I'm gonna call him Watomato. But yeah, in the green trunks over on the left-hand side right here. So since this is a noob game, I'm not just going to rush past the capture phase because we obviously want to take a look at how they're moving. So far, though, I'm not seeing anything egregious. It looks like both players are actually... Oh, Recon Opener from Insane Cultist. I like it. Recon Opener, very strong in struggle grinding because of all the roads that you see here. You can very easily get a bit of an interrupt on the infantry if it goes here early. So I like this out of Insane Cultist so far. Good opener. And looks like Watomato also opens up a recon. So both players opening recon. That usually just leads to some funny situations where both recons are just staring at each other in the center of the map. But I like this. I think this is a solid opener from both of them. I think, yeah, Insane Cultist moving in here and going for these forward properties is probably fine. You do want to grab this airport at some point. Watomato is actually going for the airport immediately, which is interesting because he's Jess. But that being said, opening up battlecopters as Jess can actually take your opponent by surprise. Panzergraf used to do this a lot against me when I played, because when you play against Jess, you're like, oh, surely my opponent's not going to build battlecopter first, right? But sometimes you can pump out a battlecopter really quickly as Jess, and your opponent has no anti-air, and they're like, oh, I don't have any way to deal with this. Insane Cultist, though, eventually opens up a tank, which is good. It looks like both players are, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Insane Cultist actually sees the recon now, whereas Watomato has not seen his opponent's recon yet. Watomato going for the com tower. I actually like this as Jess. You want to get that 20% firepower up early. So I think going for the early com tower is actually pretty nice. And so far, I mean, as Jake, I probably don't think it is as important to do. But I don't know. Might as well do it, I guess. I mean, it's not like this com tower is very exposed. But so far, I think both of these players are playing pretty well, honestly. They're doing all the fundamentals that you expect from, like their capture chains are okay. They're going decent openers, recon into tank. I mean, struggle grinding, I mean, it is a map where it's kind of hard to screw up, honestly, in the early game. It's not the most complicated map capture-wise. But it is nice to see that two fresh 800s are playing pretty well. And yeah, so here we see probably the first mistake of the match right here, going for this. I mean, I guess, to be fair, Watomato doesn't know. Actually, does he know that there's a recon there? Let me see once again. So, let me see. So here's his vision, right? Let's take a look at how this recon moves. If it goes down first, then he wouldn't see it. Okay, yeah, so he actually... Interesting, okay. So he actually doesn't know the recon is... This is really well done by Insane Cultist, actually. Moving in such... Because you could have easily moved like this, because of the shoals right here. And then you would have tipped your hand, so... It actually looks like, yeah, no. Insane Cultist is actually keeping his recon completely hidden. So, in that case, and once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Did he actually spot the tank there? Let me see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Yeah, now he sees the tank. So he sees the tank briefly moving through here, which means that he knows there should be a tank here. And at that point, I will say that going for this attack right here is very stupid, because you know there's a tank there. There's another... Well, you don't know that there's a tank here, but you should probably assume. So I think what he's going for here is he's hoping that the tank will come in here and attack the recon, and then he gets to do a strike from the city with his tank. He did build an artillery, but it's not gonna... Imagine if this artillery was built one turn earlier. You could have had it here. That would have actually been pretty cool. But we'll see if Insane Cultist takes the bait or not. I do think he's probably gonna go for the recon, but we'll see. Early anti-air and T-copter out of Watomato. Okay, someone's been watching RIP games, I think. I'm not a big fan of T-copter on struggle grinding, if I'm going to be completely honest. I don't really think it gives you anything. Like, what properties is he going to get with this T-copter that he wouldn't get otherwise? I don't know. Battlecopter coming out of Insane Cultist right here. And it looks like he's not going to take the... He's playing pretty carefully, actually. So Watomato moving his recon forward. He now sees two tanks in the center. He still goes for the capture. This could be interrupted. T-copter? I mean, I guess I have to eat my words. What properties would he get with this T-copter? Well, this one apparently. Although there is an anti-air moving towards him, so it may not happen after all. So this artillery right here, I think if you're gonna build an artillery, you want to keep it in the center with the rest of your army. Not that it can't do anything here. I mean, at least he's using it to guard the property, but an artillery on its own is quite weak. An artillery behind tanks and recons are strong. So if you're gonna have an artillery here, don't put it by itself. You want to move it up into the center here, I think. So Insane Cultist is actually not moving his anti-air towards the north. He's keeping it into the center. There are no battlecopters for just yet, though, so it's not like he's going to be able to do anything with it. Ooh, okay. Watomato now moving pretty aggressively forward. This is good, though. I like this, because here's the thing. He knows that these tanks are not here anymore. So this is actually a very nice pickup. If he had a third unit to place over here, but there's actually no tanks in range. And now he's moving really aggressively forward with this artillery as well. Battlecopter coming out from just right now. Insane Cultists moving forward. Both of these players are playing really well. Double artillery out of Insane Cultists right now. Double artillery. So he's really setting up for the long game. Nice retreat from Watomato right here. He sees the battlecopter. Get out of there. Isn't completely covering the recon. But he builds another anti-air. That's probably smart. Against the Jake player, once you see one battlecopter, there's a chance you're going to see more. So definitely want to have. I would not feel safe on struggle grinding unless I had at least 2 anti-air. Because suddenly, before you know it... Oh, damn! Insane Cultist sacking the recon to get scouting intel. And now he's pushing forward on the north as well. Okay. Okay. Alright. Oh no, put the tank here! Put the tank here! Oh! Look, I get wanting to kill the recon. I really do. I really do. Oh, oops. Looks like we have a bit of a glitch. I gotta refresh now. Look, I get it. I get it. Really? Really, Advanced Force Spyweb? I get wanting to kill the recon right here, but you put the tank here and you are shielding your battlecopter from the anti-air. And yeah, there he has no third unit. If he just even an infantry here would have been really good. I mean, I guess picking off a recon is nice, but keeping this battlecopter alive would have been even nicer in my opinion. And yeah, you can see Insane Cultist is now spamming battlecopters. I find that this very often happens when you play Jake on... God damn it. I find that this very often happens when you play Jake on struggle grinding, and yeah, there goes the battlecopter. Like, once they start producing battlecopters, they don't stop, and suddenly you're gonna end up facing like 5 battlecopters in the south. So I definitely agree. Just get a third anti-air, in my opinion. Like, I have a feeling he's gonna keep spamming him out. But so far, both these players are really evenly matched, and honestly, like, I'm starting to question whether these are actually 800s because they're playing really well. Like this, when I saw this match and I was like, oh, noob game, I was like, oh, we're gonna see just completely stupid plays right here. But these 2 players are actually playing really well. I am wondering if these may be alts. Like this is not how fresh 800s would play Advanced Wars. I think I've been duped, ladies and gentlemen. Guess the ELO failed. I should still do guess the ELO, honestly. Because, like, these 2 players are playing well. They're playing, like, 2 players who've actually played a fair bit. I mean, it could be. I mean, if you look at their profiles, they do have plenty of games under their belt. Quite a few, actually. So, these could be players who have watched replay commentaries and maybe played a lot of games, but maybe not necessarily played a lot on the Global League. But so far, what I'm seeing here is both of these players are playing really well. There are like minor mistakes here and there, but definitely not fresh 800s. This is more of like a 900 or 1000 MMR game, honestly. But now, as Insane Cultist is building up a little bit of momentum in the center here, we need to watch whether or not he's going to be tempted to overextend or not. He is slightly ahead right now in the capture game, but this city is going to fall most likely, and Watomato is going to take it back. So we're going to probably be back to an even spread of units, or even spread of buildings. We'll see if Watomato manages to capture this building or not. I think he will. But look at this. I'm liking Death Cultist, like, really boxing up his units in a death ball right here. This is the stuff we like to see. Putting Battlecopters in front is a little dubious, maybe. I mean, you probably want to keep your Battlecopters behind your army, because they can very easily be picked off by anti-air. But they are out of range for the time being, so maybe it's not so bad. I like the positioning of this artillery right here, but with these Battlecopters, I don't know if I like the medium tank, man. When you know your opponent is spamming Battlecopters, yeah, there we go, another anti-air. I would not feel comfortable unless I had at least 2 anti-air, maybe even 3, because you know your opponent is going to be spamming Battlecopters non-stop. Alright, day 14 rolls in. Insane Cultist going to poke forward with his recons. He picks up a Battlecopter, which is very nice. And now he feels pretty ballsy right now. He's going to go for it. Ooh. I'm liking these artillery quite a lot. Block Rock is coming, and these are both planes boosted artillery, by the way. So with Block Rock, they're gonna get like, what, 60% extra firepower? This is scary, man. I would not want to attack into this as just, but they both have their superpowers ready right now. And here comes the overdrive, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, let's go. Medium tank comes in. Oh my goodness. This can hurt. In comes the infantry. This is phenomenally played right here. One-shots the artillery. Just tanks are so scary, man. Look, ooh, he kills the artillery instead of... No, man, pick off the Battlecopters, my man. Pick off the Battlecopters. Oh, the anti-air just not in range. Jake has 3 Battlecopters remaining after all of this. That's actually pretty terrifying. But that's a strong push from Watomato right here. And here comes the Block Rock counterattack. With the defensive boost that Jess gets, sadly, the tanks do not one-shot anti-air on plane. Which is a little bit bad, but look, Jake's gonna get plenty of good... Ugh, would have been nicer if this could attack from a plane tile. Ah, the defensive boost from Jess just barely prevents one-shots from Insane Cultist right here. He gets a Battlecopter, which is nice. It's too bad yeah, you can see right here, this is the weakness of Jake right here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you think you can attack from plane tiles, but you can't. Bomber out of Insane Cultist right now. I actually kind of like this. He picked off, actually, no. No, not with this anti-air still alive, and there's another one right here. Of course, he couldn't know that. I don't know, but that seems like a bit of a desperation bomber. If he had killed, like, all of Jess's anti-air with this push, then I would have agreed with the bomber buy. But... as it stands, there's still too much anti-air remaining for this bomber to truly be effective. But let's see what he can do with it. What I am very surprised by the fact that these Battlecopters are still standing with all these anti-air running around. Like, seriously, Watomato, take out your opponent's Battlecopters already. Focusing the anti-air. That's always a telltale sign, by the way, if you're playing in fog and your opponent starts going after your anti-air. Most likely means they have more airiness coming your way. So if your opponent starts focus firing your anti-air, you want to be building a lot more anti-air. Because you know there's probably a bomber or multiple Battlecopters coming. Day 16. Both of these players are very evenly matched right now. Watomato's gonna... So already you can see that Insane Cultist is actually starting to overextend a little bit. Remember, this is the overextension zone right here. Around here. You don't want to be... going too hard on this. So we'll see what happens here. It's a good counterattack. I don't think Insane Cultist is going to be able to continue on here. I want to see more anti-air, dude. I want to see more anti-air. You got 2 injured anti-air here. This anti-air is very vulnerable. So Insane Cultist moving in right here with the recon, coming in with the tank. He's taking some good engagement right here. I also like this medium tank. There's not really anything here to challenge it aside from like 2 Battlecopters. And he's gonna tip his bomber to kill... No. Oh, Insane Cultist. Bad move, bad move. Look, this bomber is very, very strong. And it is very expensive. And your opponent doesn't know he's here yet. You do not want to tip your bomber to kill an infantry. This bomber stays in the back. It stays tucked down in the back until it can find a good engagement. Preferably a medium tank or even a neo tank. Or you move it in after you just kill like all of your opponent's anti-air. But here's the thing, Insane Cultist, you see the anti-air right here. Like, actually, the best thing to do with this bomber right here would have been if he could actually use it to kill this anti-air. And then if he could take down those two weakened anti-air as well, boom. That's almost a win condition, honestly. So, do not tip your bomber to kill a single infantry. You have now revealed your royal straight flush. To use poker analogy right here. It's like sitting around the poker table and showing everyone your royal straight flush. Like, hey, look what I have. Everyone's just gonna fold immediately, right? Like, you never want to tip your hand like this. The bomber, keep it in the back until it gets value. Because that thing is worth 22k. That's a lot of money in a low income map like this. That's a whole turn worth of income plus a little bit extra. So, but here comes turbocharge, and oh boy, is that bomber gonna die? A 4 HP Jess anti-air can probably still deal quite a bit of damage to this thing. He's got 2 of them. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Ooh, down to 6 HP. That bomber is now severely crippled, and I believe he can even get another anti-air. Oh, you see right here? That's how easily a bomber is thrown that. That's a game-ending move right there, in my opinion. I mean, they're both still fairly evenly matched, but that bomber really needed to live. That bomber really needed to live. Here comes the block rock. Let's see what happens here. He gets another battle... Well, actually, no, not quite. But even a 3 HP anti-air is still able to completely cripple a battlecopter. So here's the thing. This bomber can actually still be kind of useful as a block if you manage to get rid of most of the anti-air. Medium tank versus battlecopter. Okay. All right. Interesting. But again, you are severely overextending here and saying you are now behind your opponent's comp. Don't go into this area unless you know you're gonna like deliver the game-ending push. Okay, stay away from this area. Do not advance past your opponent's comp tower unless there's a really good reason for it, because that's the danger zone. That's the hurting zone. And now you can see these battlecopters are gonna... he's gonna surround this. Yeah, he just surrounded the tank. Insane Cultist, man. Making some pretty big noob mistakes into... Like, it took a long while for the big mistakes to really start to surface, but now you can really tell. Now you can really tell. And Insane Man, dude. Why are you capturing? Like, you're already getting crushed here. You're already getting crushed here. And you go for the Manx infantry cap. Pull back. Pull back. Everything. Everything goes back right now. I guess he only did it with 1 infantry, but still. I mean, that infantry could have been evacuated using the T-copter. Every infantry matters, man. So it's looking pretty bad for Insane Cultist right now. He blew his bomber. And then he got his medium tank surrounded due to overextension. I told you guys, struggle grinding, man. It is the map of overextensions. It is what kills most people on this map. It is why I have lost most of my games on this, because I always overextend. It is so easy to forget. This map is so small. You don't want to be pushing forward unless you know you can win. Day 20 though, and both players are actually still tied on income and value. And here comes the turbocharge from Watomato, and he's, again, so many battlecopters have been needlessly thrown away in this match. Rule of thumb, this is the safe zone for battlecopters, behind the river. You never want to put your battlecopters here, because it's within two reinforcement zones of your opponent's lower base. There's almost always going to be an anti-air waiting around here somewhere. So you never want to leave your air units on these 2 tiles. Put them here. Put them here and here. These are safe zones. This is not so safe, but these 2 tiles right here, perfect for battlecopters and bombers. But let's see what happens here. I mean, this game could swing either way, really. I mean, it is a noob game, so both players are going to be making big mistakes. So definitely not calling it yet. But here comes the beatdown. He gets a nice shot with the artillery for it, so I guess it's not that bad. He could also theoretically... Ah, man. Using a medium tank to kill infantry. Yeah, both of these players, I'd say one of their biggest mistakes is just going for bad value engagements. Like, look, using a medium tank to kill an infantry is not that good. And now the Jess battlecopters are going to come in force, and the Anti-Air, I mean, Insane Cultist has one, and he has another one on the way, but these Jess battlecopters are just going to have a field day until they can arrive. And it's not looking good for Insane Cultist right now, ladies and gentlemen. I am not liking his position. He gets one battlecopter, but there's like 2 more. I think it's a... he actually has 3 battlecopters coming in here, so... And a Neo-Tank. Okay, I like the Neo-Tank, actually. Neo-Tank is a pretty good move. Jess is not likely to have bombers out. And if she doesn't have Neo-Tanks, then it's very hard for her to deal with your Neo-Tanks. And... So actually, I think I like this from Insane Cultist. I think the tech up is actually something I'd like to see a lot more in this kind of matchup. All right. But still, this Neo Tank, I don't think it's enough to get Insane Cultist back. We'll see what happens here. Battlecopter, again, battlecopters going in by themselves in the fog when you know there's Anti-Air is just very reckless play by Insane Cultist. He's throwing away so many battlecopters in this match right here. And now I do believe the center is going to complete the collapse. Here comes the overdrive. And I do believe this is going to be the... Oh my goodness. You see? See how easily those battlecopters die? Yeah, this is not looking good for Insane Cultists. He doesn't really... He gets himself trapped. He doesn't have many units left at all. He has some battlecopters, but he keeps sending them in alone. Yeah. I think we're watching the downfall right here. We have one last block rock. Let's see if Insane Cultist can do anything here. He has no vision. He has no vision, no recons, no nothing. And then he resigns, ladies and gentlemen. Then he resigns. So, I will say, lots of mistakes were made in the end game, but in the early game, I think both players were very solid. Both of these players have clearly looked at openers. They played pretty well, honestly. I have very little criticism for their early game. It was in the late game that things started really falling apart. Particularly Insane Cultist made so many baboon moves. Just remember, guys, if you're new, try to remember these 3 rules, okay? Number 1, don't overextend. Never move into your opponent's reinforcement zones unless you are crushing and you're about to deliver the game-ending push. Number 2, if you build a valuable unit like a Neo-Tank or a Bomber, don't show it until it can get a good value engagement. Don't attack infantry with it, don't attack recons with it. Hold it in the back until you see a juicy target. Preferably a medium tank, or even better, a Neo-Tank. Or, if you can kill Anti-Air. Number 3. I forgot number 3. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.